All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of From the Outer Reaches. I am the leader of our trios team, Daniel, joined by my trios partners.
Your boy Zach.
I thought I was the manager. I'm the manager, David. I thought you
Uh,
guys were the tag team. I was the manager.
oh, there you go. I can see it. You got David does look like Paul Heyman, so it's
Yeah. Let me just shave the middle of my
The
head.
middle and just like get a ponytail and then
there you go.
I'll wear
But
a
you have to
hat.
wear,
There you
yeah, you
go.
have to wear the hat with
hey,
the
I with a hat,
ponytail
gain
through
gain 100 pounds and just look radically different, and then it'll be a one for
it.
The wise man.
the wise man. So basically, change everything about you. And if we squint really hard,
We will. It'll be the same person basically. All right. So today we have a lot. We're gonna talk about obviously this past SmackDown and Raw, where a lot of things happened. Some promos were cut. I think that definitely
Just a few.
come on.
gave the world a little bit of fire. Um, of course, kind of predict where it's all gonna go from there. We also have it's been kind of other than that, it's been kind of a slow week in terms of that.
Mhm.
We do have some spillover from one of the promos, and we're gonna wonder if it truly is a work, if it's a shoot. If it's a gimmick, I don't know whatever it is. We'll figure out if there was some fourth wall breaking that was going on in one of the promos in and of itself, and we'll ask what you guys think. And let us know in the comments if you think that what we'll be talking about the infamous Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair promo, and if you think that was all real or if it was kind of a bit for us all to believe and to think that they hate each other because that was pretty crazy from a workplace perspective.
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit.
We'll start off with the big one, the boy, the goat, John Cena and Cody Rhodes. And I've talked a little bit to Zach about this.
They
I've
never
just
talk to me, by the way. It's
no, they
just
we ne-
between the two of them.
no, I send videos into the group chat and you never respond.
Does
So
Zach respond? Does Zach respond? Tell me right now.
50-50.
Okay,
50-50.
It's a
see, there
toss
you
up.
go. All right, whatever. Go ahead.
Listen, I've taught enough middle school. 50% is better than a zero. But yeah, so we had the big John Cena, Cody Rhodes promo. What John were we gonna get? I know David last week you had talked about wanting John to have a little more fire in his belly, a little more anger, a little more passion, and I think he delivered it.
I think he's getting there. I
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not there, but like there's still like I want more, and maybe it's just because it's a good storyline
Yeah.
and enjoyable. But yeah, it's definitely this is the John I would have wanted to see that very first week. I mean,
Mhm.
looking at it, maybe it's like, hey, let's have like the heartfelt kind of thing, and now it's like, okay, like I tried to be nice to you, Cody, and like give you some tips, and you didn't want them, so now I'm just gonna show you, kind of thing.
Yeah, like that. What did you think? So what did you think? Because this is their first actual back and forth because they've talked to each other, but it has been very like Cody comes out and just says like a short little blurb. This was their first like actual like back and
Interaction,
forth.
yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of like their back and forth in the promo?
I thought it was good. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, it makes sense that Cody's gonna like, oh, these are all the things you're gonna say about me,
Yeah.
just to kind of like not give you anything.
Yeah.
Which on paper you're like that's smart, but then it's also like John's like I don't need any of that. Like,
No. I thought that was like the very classic like you're trying to get on top of it, right? So you're like, well, okay, you can make fun of like XYZ, but the problem is everything he listed was very like superficial, and John always goes a little bit more like personal
mm-hmm.
in what he does. So like I didn't feel like I don't think John would have made fun of his lisp because that's not
I
right. I
don't
didn't
think
even
so
notice Cody
either.
really had a lisp till Cody brought it up.
I
I
should
do.
I should have my wife listen to him and see if she. I mean, it's
That'll be
her
interesting.
field, but I don't notice those things unless it's like obvious.
Yeah.
It's so my girlfriend noticed it, but she notices that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And when he says his S's, if you look at the way his lips move, his S is really like out. So when he talks, his S is like his tongue is more pronounced. So it's like more of a
Hmm.
like that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Which there's like a term for it. I know there's a term for it.
Yeah.
Again, I could ask my wife. It's her
Yeah,
whole
Yeah, no, that'd be
job. So
interesting.
but that's the that. But and then like
WrestleMania, we'll do it then.
when they do a
Yeah.
close up on him and he says like an S really hard, like look at it and because it kind of like almost like kind of comes up like a snake kind of thing. It's weird.
Huh.
So
And
his
then it kind
Cena
of
is probably pretty close because that's kind of like a
Yeah,
similar to an S.
yeah.
I don't know.
it's an S.
And same with like Kevin. I'd never noticed he's got like an accent, right?
hmm
Yeah,
When he slows down his talking, when he's like normal conversation, you can hear the French Canadian in him.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, I thought it was good. I mean, Cena came out kind of swinging a little bit more so.
yeah. I
hmm
felt what I felt the line that really won it for Cena when he was like, "It doesn't matter where your tattoo is, it's what you're like. It is what your it's what your tattoo represents. That's dumb." And I was like, "Oh, that's actually really good because it's like it doesn't matter that it's goofy and on your neck. It wouldn't matter where it was on you. It's
It's
just
goofy no matter what.
yeah,
I think for me, I think the mediocrity thing, where he's like, I have worked too hard to make this title be a symbol of to be a symbol of mastery, and they just give it to somebody who's mediocre. That's a good like, and it's hard for Cody to really kind of talk about like when Cody or when John and like Randy talk to each other, right? Because they're both like 15, 16. It's like they're big, they've won a
yeah,
thousand times. But it feels like if you're like going to your first Super Bowl, it was like when Joe Burrow played Tom Brady, right?
yeah,
Or who did Tom Brady played, and it was like their first time going, and they're like, Tom's like, well, this is how you do it.
yeah.
So, but it's I just like John so much. It's hard to like kind of root for because all of Cody's stuff is like rootin' tootin' like very like a few good men. Like you need me on that wall, and it's like, I don't know.
I did. I do think Cena won pretty handily, but I do want to give Cody props because he didn't fold.
No.
He didn't
Yeah.
stumble on anything.
Uh.
Yeah, I know exactly. He didn't do that. I would have just cried. So I so I think
Okay.
like Cody held his own. There's just less to go after John
Mhm.
for. I think it's just Cody's in a hard spot. But he didn't fold. Like I don't think he made a fool of himself. I think he came out of it looking fine. It's just seen as very difficult to verbally like confront.
Yeah, no,
So
he was good, and I think the biggest, and I was because I was sending Zach like people saying like, no, Cody won this,
uh,
and
mm,
Mm,
I don't think he did.
no,
all right, good. Yeah, I don't know.
And but
no,
then everybody's like, no, like Cody held his own, and that's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
But when we think of the winners, you don't think about, oh, they held their own.
yeah,
You immediately think, no, he'll beat you. Like it doesn't matter if you held your own, right? It doesn't matter that Patrick Mahomes threw for 300 yards in the Super Bowl. They lost by 40 points. Like
yeah,
that doesn't matter. But
yeah.
but you know, it's again the problem with the John Cena stuff at the beginning of the show is that once that happens, the steam kind of like the energy kind of goes. At least for me, because I'm like, what are we gonna beat? How are we gonna top this?
I mean, I
Yeah.
thought the finale for Raw was good because that was the rematch for Io and
I did think that
Yeah,
was good. Yeah.
that was
and
really
I was
good
like, I wouldn't want another match after or like the promo Cena
after that.
versus Cody. And I think they probably do it because if they want it to run long or if it runs long, they'd rather
Yeah.
do it at the start so then they can cut and
But the thing with when Netflix started, they were like, oh, we can kind of end it whenever we want because it's Netflix. We're not like on cable television.
Mhm.
But like they've kind of cut it short. And I feel like if you're gonna keep it long, I would rather it go long because of promos at the end than you cut a match short to like let it to make space. Does that make sense?
I don't
It,
disagree. But obviously it's like people not everyone's gonna want to sit and watch like a 4 hour. And granted you can go back and watch it and, move the dial to where you want it. But I assume they're just number one, they're ingrained with like their normal time
Yeah.
slot. This is how much time we have, so that's what we're gonna do.
and I can be totally off basis from this, but it could also be because they were in foreign countries. So I don't know what time those were going and if they have like curfew laws, stuff like that, like when events
Yeah.
need to be done, because I know that is a problem in some places. So that could also have come into effect for things
Well,
like that.
and even on that, depending on the arena, what's next after them, they might have to be out by a certain time because
Hmm.
the arena's got to change configurations. Like maybe there's a hockey game the next day or a basketball game, so they've got to
Right.
redo everything.
Yeah, or even like a concert because like
Yeah.
WWE rings are so like specific because they got all the scaffolding. That's all gotta because that's all gotta come down at some point. Go to the next city. So it probably all because like when they need to fly out if the show doesn't stop. So I bet all of that also plays into how far they
The
could
the
go.
stage hands are like, can we just three
Oh, I'm
three
sure.
hours
Yeah,
tops?
I'm sure the stagehands are always like,
Yeah, they're
we
like,
gotta
fuck,
go.
dude. Fuck, dude. We have
They're
three
like,
hours to do this.
unless you're helping me clean up, like finish, just be done.
That's got to be a stressful job if you think about it. You got to tear all the shit down in London so you can get over to another EU country, and you got to make sure everything gets that. Like
It's logistics.
it's
Yeah. And that's the thing.
logistics.
Like any time constraint could cause, yes, you've got multiple days, but it takes
Yeah.
time to put these things up and they are going to test to make sure everything's set properly. And if it's not, you got to troubleshoot it and,
Oh
X, Y,
yeah.
and Z.
No. I hate logistics at my job, so I can't even imagine something of that scale and moving
Right.
that many people.
That quick of a turnaround too. You're just like, oh, we need this every single Monday in a new spot.
Oh, because the amount of hotels you have to book and like travel. Oh man,
Does
no.
everyone have their
That's the
ticket?
worst.
I would actually really kind of like a WWE show just about like the roadies
Like
and the people who put it on. I think that would be really interesting, honestly.
Netflix,
Yeah,
easy
no,
money. I can tell you
easy
that right
money.
now.
It's just them at the end of the day, just looking like they just like stormed the beaches. They're like, "Fuck, dude."
Well, because and you think about it, it's year round,
Yeah,
Yeah,
365.
doesn't
Like
stop.
the drivers that are, because there's equipment that's not going to fly, it's going to get driven.
yeah.
Those drivers, that's they're just on the road. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they've got rotating, but it's like that's your
Oh yeah.
life. And if you're
Fuck.
sick, guess what? You got to be there.
Hard to have a family with that, I bet, because you're just constantly. That's why wrestlers tend to like
Marry
marry other
wrestlers.
wrestlers because they get it and they get the kind of like the lifestyle it is. But
Yeah,
They
because it's
also
hard.
see them in a lot less clothing initially, their
yeah, that's fair.
outfits.
Yeah,
So
Good
yeah.
first impressions.
Just a bunch of really hot athletic people around other hot athletic people is generally gonna
I
Yeah.
see you got some good cardio, huh?
exactly.
Hmm.
It's generally gonna breed. So, but yeah, no, that would be a very interesting show. But I bet that plays into a lot of time constraints that they have.
Speaking of, well, going back to time constraints, I kind of liked it being in the middle of the day, but that's just me because
Yeah,
I don't really
I
do
did too.
anything.
yeah. It was nice.
You can
And
just
then
kind of put it on.
if I want to watch it later, I can like fast forward and like
Yeah,
skip through
Yeah.
things, see where it's like I have to get up early for work, so I go to
yeah.
bed early. So I'm normally like staying up late to finish watching when it's normal hours for Raw. So it's kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, I know it's annoying.
So after that wonderful promo where people who said that Cody won are wrong, we had the New Day versus the New Catch Republic, which is made up of our boy Butch or Peter Dunne
Pete Dunne.
and Tyler Bate. And Tyler Bate's pretty good. Tyler Bate
Yeah.
actually came back from it just came back from a torn pec, which sucks. And he's also dating. He's famous for dating a wrestler in NXT her wrestling name is Sol Ruka,
Mm.
and she has a really cool movie. If you ever get the chance to watch it, her finishing move is called the Soul Snatcher,
Nice.
and it's a pretty great move. I don't know how to describe it. So it's off of the buckle, and it's almost like a reverse flip, and it's like a reverse flip into a cutter
Okay.
off the turnstile off the buckle, and it's pretty good. I like it, and she's probably one of the bigger, more up and coming female wrestlers in NXT right now too.
And that's what he's known for.
Yeah.
Listen, listen, I'm a fan, but like, well, because I was like, who is this guy? Because he like
He's
appeared
like,
in that picture
oh,
with
he's
her, and I was
dating
like,
her.
Yeah, he just randomly kind of.
Oh.
because it's always like, yeah, they'll be like, look at them, like they'll do like WWE Raw, the premiere, or whatever, and then you're like, who are these people? Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Um, but he's good too. He kind of has like a kind of a more athletic, like lucha vibe
Okay.
to him. So I like him. I'm not saying like I'm not. It's not like one of those where you're like, oh, he's obviously not as good as she is. But like, no, I think he's fun. If
Yeah.
you ever get a chance to catch his like older stuff, he's fun. New Day One, which I think is interesting. I don't. I think they're gonna have. I I think they're gonna have New Day wrestle. I feel like they're gonna do a tag match at WrestleMania, but I don't know who it's gonna be. If they're gonna go
Yeah.
Raw, if they're gonna go SmackDown,
Maybe
or
they do a
both.
three-way
Yeah.
for
They
the belt.
could.
That could be cool. Yeah, there hasn't been too much like, and I get there's a lot of storylines going around right now, and we've kind of talked about with the amount of belts, it's hard for them all to be. focused on, but I feel like the tag team storylines haven't really been there
Really.
very much or focused on.
Uh,
And I just remember Daniel didn't New Day is going to fight the War Raiders because they're the Raw tag because they came out
yes.
Yeah.
after. And then what? Because and I know we're going to get into SmackDown, but Street Profits are SmackDown, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they'll either do one or the other, or they could do one each day, and then whichever one is the bigger one is Sunday.
Mm.
Um, but I don't know. It really this year I feel like we really don't know what's coming. Whereas like last year we all kind of knew like these are the storylines that are gonna hit. So it's and we kind of have established the big three storylines,
Yeah.
right? Like Cody, Rhea, and oh,
Well,
what am
so, a CM
Seth.
Punk, Rollins,
Yeah,
and
the Seth. Those feel like kind of the big three. Nothing else is really settled in.
yeah.
Can I
This year.
ask? So last year for WrestleMania, leading into it, it was Gunther versus Sammy for.
Sorry,
Sorry.
everybody. Sorry for some technical difficulties, everybody.
Um, so it was Gunther CM Punk, Sammy for
Mhm.
heavyweight, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Did Gunther kind of go through a similar arc then that he's going through now?
No, he's always just kind of been. It was almost like Brock, like he's just a force of nature that exists.
He's
Yeah.
just always kind of been like, I'm better. Like kind of like we talked
Yeah,
about. He's a Bond villain that's just like, I'm better than you.
yeah. He was more German
Yeah.
before he became Bond villain, and now he's just a evil Bond villain.
I
And
think he almost has more personality now.
Okay.
Before it was very kind of like he always had good final boss energy, but before he was very much just like it was very German. It was very authoritarian. He had like his little mouthpiece guys who usually kind of like talked for him. I
Mhm.
don't think I could be totally wrong on this, but I don't think he talked as much. Like he's been cutting a
Okay.
lot of promos, but usually it was like other people talking for him, and then he'd be like, "I'm gonna get you." Like that was kind of what he did. But
I
now
was
he,
just curious because
yeah.
it's just, he's been kind of like Daniel said, a force of nature
Hmm.
leading into this year's WrestleMania. So I just wasn't sure if it was, um, well, I'm cutting a lot of promos too. So I
Yeah,
wasn't sure if it was the same then too.
yeah.
I think yeah, because Kaiser was his voice, and then something happened to something about Giovanni Vinci happened, and nobody really knows what. But he like because Vinci just disappeared, and
Yeah.
in wrestling, if you just disappear, you did something where you had to disappear. It's not like so nobody knows. Some people think it was related to like he tried to like hit on Tiffany or something like that, but that's not confirmed. That's just wrestling. Wrestling news is hard to know what's real and what isn't.
Hmm.
Like
They're better than the, NFL locker rooms. They're not, sneaking anything out drama wise.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
don't know how much of it is just them releasing it to kind of cause a story and like
They can always say, yeah, it's just for the
yeah, it's
story.
just a
Like,
work.
Yeah.
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 Um, and then yeah, then the Kaiser was just kind of the guy, like his buddy, and then like Kaiser got his own thing, and I like Kaiser. I think he's a good wrestler. Ashland hates him with the fucking passion for some fucking reason, but but likes Gunther. So
Yeah. But I feel like Kaiser is a good wrestler. I think he just suffers a little bit from being like Gunther light in his gimmick.
yeah.
I feel like he just needs something to
Get
like,
out of his shadow almost.
yeah, and make it his
Mhm.
own because he's stuck kind of just being like German guy.
German guy with a hint of World War II history
I
that
know I was
of
gonna be
a
like
time
German guy
period.
number one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
German guy number one, and he's very because he's very much just Gunther light, but he is such a good wrestler. I feel like he just needs to find his
Uh,
because his matches with Penta have been great, I've thought.
Yeah,
Um, but he's felt. And he just needs a little something to make him his own person. So almost
yeah.
like a feud with Gunther would be good. Of a
Oh yeah.
little like because that could be kind of interesting. Like
You could do that if he loses to Jay.
yeah, a little Austria Germany Civil War could go could go on.
Let's relive World War One. Speaking of Gunther, that is our next match is Gunther versus Jimmy. Last I guess it would be 2 weeks ago. Jimmy slapped the absolute taste out of Gunther's mouth,
God.
and that's one of those ones where there's a party that goes, "I know we're doing a bit, but like also you didn't have to slap me that hard."
but I also feel like Gunther probably was like just
Yeah,
cross the face.
as hard as you can. So that one was decent. I think.
And based off, just not to spoil the match, but
Yeah,
based off what Jimmy had to go through that one, I think the slap is very minimal compared to what
yeah.
Gunther did to
Yeah.
him.
I will say I think out of the two of them, I think Jimmy's the better wrestler between Jimmy and Jay. And I'm not trying to
Yeah.
like recreate like because social
I
media's done enough of, like Jay being bad.
I don't disagree with you the whole time. I was like, why isn't Jimmy wrestling for the belt?
Yeah.
Like, why isn't Jimmy getting a push? But
Because Jay had this storyline where he was defiant against Roman, and that got people. Oh, that got him over with people. And then
Yeah.
he had the song, and then everybody.
he,
And I will say we can say whatever we want about Jay. He is very fucking over right now.
Yeah,
Like he's definitely the hot hand. You know what I mean? Like he's definitely like you would watch that, you watch the reactions he gets and shit. Like I get it. You're like, well, we gotta ride with this.
yeah.
Um, it'll just be interesting to see because generally people like him get hot and then
like
it'll
a
kind of like
flash in a pan.
flash because
Yeah.
people like saying yeet, they like that kind of shit. So we'll see. Again, it's how well you're able to repackage this for months down the line. Will people still be yeeting when you have the championship for a month or two
Mhm.
and you're no longer the big underdog? So he's got to see how he's going to like repackage it, but we'll see.
And that's where I think Daniel's been bringing it up. I feel like if you're a champ, you are at least decent enough on a mic or you've got something that like puts you over. If you're just gonna say yeet all the time, he's not gonna hold if he wins the belt, which I think he is,
Yeah.
he's not gonna hold it for very long because somebody's gonna be, oh dude, you see, Jay got burned by
Yeah.
add in wrestler. Oh yeah, he's dropping the belt.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and like that's my opinion about like Cody a little bit is that he came back. He's had the two biggest feuds of probably the past 10, 15 years.
Probably.
Like after a while, right? People like you have to either have a gimmick that is so like forever, right? Like John and his never give up thing, right? Like it's something that the kids get, so he can always apply it to like kid, like
Mhm.
and like Cody's like American Dream thing. But if I have to listen to him talk about fucking Dusty Rhodes, my father, like yeah, dude, like oh, that was another one when he called him a nepo baby,
Yeah.
a mediocre nepo baby. That was a good
So
one.
comparing Cody, and I mean you guys would know better, how is his championship different than like Roman, who his whole thing was just I win.
Well, I guess I can explain it in the sense that as me and David just played Magic the Gathering with our friends,
Played is a
and
strong word, Dan.
and before we did this, we started. You heard my thoughts, and that's how Roman made people feel. And you want to watch them lose, but they keep winning, so that it's like Star Wars. The hate feeds you.
It's watching the Patriots every year in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl. Even though odds are they were going to win, you were going to watch hoping that they were going to lose.
Exactly. And just Roman kept having a ways to win. Jay would come out, Jimmy would come out, Solo would thump people to throw.
There was chaos that would occur that was
Yeah,
unexpected. Okay. All right.
that
Yeah.
would do it.
And, and I will say, I think it's easier to be a heel than a face
Hmm.
because
Agree.
like Roman, right? He just needs to be hated. Like and he had a whole evil organization. He just kind of needed to be like a one note anime villain, and that's enough to get everyone wanting you to lose. Because that's really all like. But for it to be a face, you have to like not only want people to like you have to have people want you to win, and then you have to have people still care after you've beat the bad guy. And that's the hardest thing is when you no
Hmm.
longer have a bad guy to chase, can you still make people care? And that's very difficult to do because it's like anything. It's like the NFL team that's been bad for a really long time, and then they start winning. People just naturally like turn against them because they've been winning,
Yeah.
and because that's just a natural thing. So it's hard to be in that face spot because then if people start booing you, you're still you're not a heel, you're a face. You've got to
Yeah.
figure out a way to like still be popular, be a good guy, and to be a bad guy is much easier, I think, because I can just go out and be like, "Oh, your city sucks. Oh, your hometown's lame. Like your sports team is like terrible." That's easier to do and get hate than to constantly have to be liked. And
Like
So
I am
so
the
I
dark. I am the
yeah.
Force. I'm Captain America. Here's
Yeah,
the
that's
shield, right?
yeah, and it's harder to do that over a long period
Yeah.
of time, I feel.
That makes sense.
As a face, you have to give that speech in the second Captain America movie where he tells everybody like Hydra's here, but this is
Hmm.
America. You guys
Yeah.
took. We all took an oath. Let's fucking go. Like you have to hit that speech every 2 to 3 months
Hmm.
and just do that, but do it different each time.
It's why ironically, Cody Rhodes' dad, Dusty Rhodes, was really good at promos because Dusty really did have a good everyman kind of vibe going on. He was like, "Oh, I'm the son of a plumber, and I'm out here fighting for you." Like he really gave off that vibe, and he was able to in his promos. He sounded very genuine in the fact he was like for the working man, and that's how he looked. He didn't look like he looked. He was really overweight.
Yeah, he
He
didn't
did
like
not.
Hulk.
Yeah, he didn't look like a typical wrestler. So he really had this like for the people and I'm for the common man and we can do it together. And that's always been my problem with Cody is that he is very like he wears these really nice suits and he's I don't know, he just has everything seemingly kind of handed to him. I know he hasn't, but just his character, the way it seems. So it's harder to like fully get behind him when people were able just to really get behind his dad. So that's why I think he mentions his dad quite a bit.
And
Because his dad was such a symbol, and it's
Yeah.
hard to. It's hard when you're the face and everybody just know the heel has a point.
Yeah.
Like Kevin, right? Like in that Kevin Cody feud. No, I don't think there was anybody who was like, no, Cody's wrong, like right.
Yeah.
Like at least if you like understand, like if you pull back and look at how wrestling works, like Kevin was right. Roman didn't deserve help. He was an asshole for
Yeah.
like 5 years, and then they showed a montage of him running Kevin over with a golf cart. To be fair, I would be mad too. But like that's when like Kevin was like, no, like why is everybody mad at me? This doesn't make any sense. Like, no, Roman's a dick.
Yeah.
And everybody then Cody's like, well, you we forgive our friend, and it's like, no, that's not how people really like work.
Work. Yeah.
Like you don't get to hit me with a car. Um, but we'll see. It's I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I would prefer John wins personally. I think God John
he's gonna
has
win. It's gonna be John and Jay are gonna win
Yeah.
belts.
okay. We're
I
putting
like it.
David stamping it here.
I've been stamping that. I think
Yeah.
the
I'll,
storyline they've
Leadership.
been cooking for Gunther and Jay has been Gunther's just bullying the whole division.
yeah.
Basically killed Jimmy on
Oh yeah,
Monday.
Yeah.
And
that was good
Jay,
villain work.
that's gonna be his inspiration. And hopefully, please, Jay, tomorrow just cut a good promo. And you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you got the inspiration now. We don't need to see the yeet. Like just cut a solid promo because you've got all the reasoning now. Somebody could write it down for you. We'll put a teleprompter up, whatever.
It's right there. Like it's right there.
And
Wait,
this is to me, it's like, hey, he's been like that. Like, oh, I'm the hero that's coming in to like stop Gunther, beat up my locker room friends or whatever. But now it's like now it's personal Gunther. Like
Yeah.
that's what I want to hear. Like you've
Yeah.
crossed the line.
No,
oh, and it
you
was great. It was great evil anime villain work. Like
Dude, I
he's
props to
like, oh,
Gunther. The
he's like,
end,
oh,
just
get
all the
Jimmy.
blood on him. I was like, Jesus, dude.
Your brother's
Yeah, and
blood.
he's like
yeah.
rubbing, and I'm like, God, Gunther.
I like with the belt when he was like, come on, get the belt. Oh, you're not fast enough.
Uh
Oh, you can't
Well,
get it.
even like when he was like Jimmy was trying to crawl to Jay, and he just like pulls him back, and says, "Nope, not done with you yet."
yeah. No, if you can't cut a good promo off of this, then you never were. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's gonna win the belt. It would be such a waste if they put all this time and effort into the storyline for him not to win the belt. Like legitimately, they could have just sent him out there and had this like mediocre storyline. He would have lost, and
Mhm.
then we would have moved on. But he's got to win the belt.
He's gotta do it. Like
But not just win it. It has to, and that is the thing about wrestling, like wrestling fans, is that if you don't, they don't feel like you earned it, they will
It,
let your ass know.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like, and this is almost why I brought up last year's, but Sammy going into Gunther last year. Sammy's the underdog, and he took a beating. But like
mhm.
he was like Rocky. He's like, I'm fighting back, and I'm staying in it, and he wins it. I feel like it's gonna be a very similar match. Like you know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be Jay's gonna be getting his ass kicked. Maybe he slips or whatever a
Yeah.
few times, and then he like turns it around out of using Gunther's like I'm better than you kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just it's just they put like Jimmy in like a cage over the thing. Come on, Jimmy, look at Jimmy.
Oh, we're gonna drop him in the Shark Tank.
I have your family now. I've stolen the secret satellite, and I'm gonna
As for
use
me,
it to kill
I'd
your
also
family.
I'd also love to see Gunther go for the like overall championship belt.
Yeah.
Because I don't get me wrong, he's been great as heavyweight, but like, can we push him up to the next belt? Because I feel like that's the trajectory, and I think he'd do a great job.
Yeah.
I think
I
so
agree.
too. 1,000% agree. I think I hope that Gunther never becomes a face. Gunther works
No, it
so.
wouldn't work.
No.
There's no you never look at a good guy and go, his name's Gunther.
One, I just think that I mean maybe okay, so he drops the belt here. Hey Gunther, just take a break for the we'll bring you in a few times, but let the Cena Cody because I assume that's gonna complete the year, but then come back and we'll start you 1-1 or right when Cena's done. You're the next storyline that we have slotted in, unless something else starts cooking while you're gone. Then we'll figure out what we'll do with you.
Nah, I would probably have Gunther top three in the organization right now.
I love Gunther matches.
Uh,
I love his
I was
promos.
Yeah.
nothing like a good Gunther chop.
Do
Yeah, I love that shit.
do you think Gunther is going up there with like the greats of promos?
He's getting there. I think his evil promos are really good. Like they're good villain. He's definitely the best like foreign heel because they've had this kind of like evil foreigner person, right, for a long time. He's definitely the best one in like I don't know, since the Iron Sheik.
Because
And
go ahead, Daniel.
oh, I was gonna say the problem with the evil foreigner thing is that it's played into them being an evil foreigner, so they
Yeah,
usually dive into the foreigner like stereotype hard, like the Iron Sheik, right?
yeah,
Or Rusev
yeah.
coming out in a Russian tank,
The
like
Bulgarian brute.
it. Whereas like Gunther is just like, no, I'm menacing, and it happened to be German.
Yeah.
Because I just was curious because I don't think they've had like a face to face them promoting back and forth at each other, but just his individual like all the people he's talked crap about before he beats them in the ring, like just that kind of stuff, all the crap he's talked to Jay, you know what I mean? Like
He's very
Mhm.
and
good.
maybe I haven't seen that because you guys have talked about Cena being this like wizard on a mic when we're face to face, you won't beat me. But I'm almost like Gunther to me has always seemed very much like I would love to see him maybe against John, like you know what I mean?
No, I think he'd do. I think he'd do very well against John, honestly, because he's the kind of guy that would be hard for John to really like.
Because John's gonna be like, "You're this big dude." He's like, "Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
no,
better than you,
exactly.
of
Yeah,
course." Like,
yeah. Like you're a big bully. Yes. Like,
thank
like
you.
yeah.
How'd you catch that? What was your first hit? Like,
Yeah.
He's like the anti-Cena.
Hmm.
yeah. He's like, I'm just better than you. And
Yeah.
I'm here to like get rid of all the people who don't love. And it's interesting is that so I don't know if you guys see all the ads for that, the Legends and Future Greats show that they do.
Hmm.
So Gunther came to talk to the class. Oh, he
Oh, I
ruined
saw a
some
clip of that.
he cut some dreams in half. Let me tell you something here. He was like so one girl, like you can tell she's like really pretty and like kind of like a Tiffany Stratton kind of thing. And he's like, "Oh, if you came here because you think you're just pretty, like just leave. Like he's like, just get
Fuck.
out. Like you have to love this. If you think you're just gonna get away by being pretty and like this and that, like you think this is like a passion thing, like no, like you can just leave right now.
Holy shit.
Like dead serious, like not even like. And I don't know how much of it was him sticking to the Gunther thing, and how much of that was him trying to like. And also, that's my thing. I hate that shit with the old wrestlers of like you gotta like them like fucking people like you gotta fucking the dream is dead unless you want it. Like I don't know, man. Like you guys had it hard. Make it easier for the people who come after you. You don't gotta
Yeah.
be right. Like poor Miz. We don't have to
I
do
mean,
that.
No.
they're not gonna sugarcoat it. Like,
I
it's not
mean,
easy
no,
to be a
it's
wrestler, right?
No.
they're not, and you're right. You do have to be realistic, but at the same time, I feel like if you go into being a wrestler at this point, you have to kind of know
Yeah. Well, and I
that.
just look at it like nobody's on the, let's say, the Pat McAfee or the Logan Paul like straight away.
Yeah.
It was difficult. They had their own difficulties. They had to prove themselves, but they did have a express lane comparative to other people that I have to start at an amateur level and then go
Hmm.
to NXT and then work. I'm working there for 2 years before I even get to sniff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the next level.
Like, uh, Cost my. But Gunther cut that, and I was like, I hope somebody gave them a hug because I was like, ooh, that's not what you want to hear when you're at one of these. Like, it's not what you want to hear, right? But
No.
obviously, it isn't true. I'm not saying that Gunther's not wrong. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's like if you went to go see like Tom, right, Tom Brady, and you go, "Wow, Tom, can I do it too?" And he's like, "Wow, that's
Probably
you know."
not. Like,
If you want to be like me, like the odds are less than 1%. You're like, "Cool, Tom, thanks." Like, speaking of people whose hopes are less than 1%, Judgment Day wrestled as a tag team with Finn Balor and Dominic against Braun Breaker and Penta,
Another fun match.
which is
yeah.
a weird pairing for me personally. Like I get it because the Judgment Day fucked them both over,
Yeah.
but it was like a weird just kind of team,
Seeing them together.
which led to Braun. Actually, Judgment Day finally won
Oh
something.
my God.
Dom
He
pushed
did it.
Penta in the path of Braun's spear. Shout out to Penta. They made him earn that, and it was good. You could tell it was a little clunky because Braun isn't really a tag team guy. Penta is, but
Yeah.
with his brother.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
they
one of
have
those.
different styles too,
Hmm.
because
Yeah,
Braun is more of like a ground and pound, I feel like, kind of guy, and Penta's up in the air.
Penta's
Big
sweet.
bruiser. Yeah.
Mm. But it was cool. It served its purpose. And then the match of the night, Io Sky versus Rhea with the special guest referee Bianca Belair, who was I don't know if you guys saw any of like the lead up to it because they're like, all right, Bianca, you're gonna be a ref, and she's like, I don't know how to be a ref, and you could tell she's like kind of sweating it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how much of it was an act, but like I would be kind of sweating it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was me every morning when I was a teacher. I don't know what I'm doing, and
Uh,
you're gonna give me this much responsibility. Um, it was a good match. I do like that they constantly I like the narrative. I don't know how intentional it is that EO beats Ray all the time.
mhm.
And it kind of creates that like football narrative or sports narrative like will she ever get over the hump?
Yeah.
She's going to Japan. She's going to learn how to sumo, and then she's going to come over and she's going to beat you.
Japanese wrestling is something else, man. It is not for the for the soft-hearted because I send you guys videos of some of those girls and they just get like scissor kicked in the face, stiff off the ring side.
It's very stiff. All the
Yeah.
wrestling over there is very stiff. It's very just getting hit.
Yeah, you don't pretend you don't like right WWE will like cut the angle and you'll kind of go, oh, I could tell that was the win. Like they're
Hmm.
not really hitting them. No, that was a full forearm that girl took in the face.
And then, which is oddly funny too, is their punches usually look like complete shit. But they'll deck you with a forearm, but their punches look like, oh, missing by miles.
Yeah, but they will catch you with an elbow and you're like, what are we doing?
Well, they'll drop you on your head, but God forbid they actually.
They actually connected your face. Which ironically, being hit led to what caused a double DQ. So Bianca is going with Io. Io retained.
Thank God.
Oh yeah, we were. I was
I
sweating it. I was in my office and I went, yes, okay, okay,
I kind
okay.
of wished Rhea got pinned. That
Yeah.
to me would have really helped kind of the storyline Zach's been throwing out that I think
Mhm.
is a good way to take it. But I mean, this will still be the inspiration. It seems like I think she did like an interview afterwards. It kind of sounds like she might still pop up at WrestleMania.
Probably
Yeah.
you because this would be the first WrestleMania since past 3 or 4 that she hasn't wouldn't have been a part of.
She'll be involved in some capacity. She's almost too big of a star not to have show up to do something. She probably will just come out and like stare them down during the match, which will cause some sort of interference, which will cause someone to lose. That'll probably be she'll come out
Maybe a
mid,
Bianca loss because it
maybe a
seems like
Bianca
they've kind of
loss.
been feuding. The
Yeah,
her and Rhea, and maybe that's where they kind of go with it. Let Io retain,
yeah,
see kind of where the story goes.
yeah. Because that and then that kind of gives fuel to EO too, because she'll have won twice in kind of funky ways, and that'll give her like fire to be like, no, like I'm a legitimate, like I'm not winning by
Champion.
flukes, but
Respect
like,
me.
yeah, respect me. And then that can give Bianca a reason, like it keeps the whole thing brewing in the pot till
Yeah,
backlash. So
which I think is also great in the sense that Io. I think too, but Io is so kind of over, and I think we've all I've said I think she's the best female wrestler on the roster right now. Um, but like I like it doesn't bother me the way she kind of won.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like, okay, if we do this 5 more times, then I'm gonna be like, okay, we need to fucking change this.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
least for these past two, especially because Rhea's like inserted herself,
Hmm.
she's caused these things to end wonky.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, okay, like it's not EO winning wonky, like winning wonky in the sense that like she
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, in the way that like the bloodline would win, right? Off of the
Right.
like, I like that. It's like more like Rhea's causing it, and EO's just capitalizing on the wonkiness, which
Yeah. Which I mean, we all would.
so um, which then takes us to SmackDown. And boy, SmackDown, we talked about
Ooh.
SmackDown in the last episode, and we were like, well, it was a thing. And SmackDown said, no, we're gonna prove you wrong. So SmackDown was in Chicago this week, which is CM Punk's hometown, which
Yes, sir.
means, oh, the fans are rabid.
Oh, they. You could tell them to ride in the streets, and they would.
Oh, if CM Punk could rally the city and like they would lead like a revolution on something. Um, so he came out, Paul Heyman came out, and Chicago, I will say this too, kept they kind of, oh, I feel like they all read the comments and like they kept the energy, but it wasn't interference.
Hmm.
So they kind of like saw that Europe was lit. They kept the litness, but like,
I was gonna
ru-
say it did feel like they came a little bit more juice after
Yeah.
the Europe tour.
but it wasn't like the chance for 25 fucking minutes. And we're like, okay,
Yes.
we get it. That's Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
They knew, hey, like, all right, shut up, they're talking. Like,
Yeah.
Which is if you can blend that together,
That's what
double.
we need. Yeah.
That's what we'll keep that. So we had yeah, Paul Heyman came out. Paul Heyman's like, "You're my dog, you're my boy." And he's like, "So what is it? Tell the world what this wish is." And he's like, "No, no, no, I want Roman to be here when I tell him. When I tell you what the wish is." And he's like, "Okay." So that's the big thing. And they left. And so leading into that, we have Rey Fenix, the boy.
The boy.
he made it.
We did it. They did it. I believe dreams are real. As much to David's annoyance.
Oh, here it comes.
No, like I'm just gonna like I love Ray and Pentagon from Lucha Underground. Like
Yeah.
I just
They're
it's
great.
cool. Yeah, they're great, and it's cool to see them make it because I've
And
always watched them
yeah.
wrestle, and we've talked about like no, they deserve to be at WWE.
Oh yeah. And to be fair, they've done a lot of other stuff. Like they've been in AAA, like the Mexican wrestling, like the main Mexican wrestling federation for a very long time.
They've done
Japan,
a lot of
Japan,
they've been
they've
Japan, the Indies here, like was it Pro Gorilla,
oh yeah, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. They've been in
Pro Wrestling.
AEW. They've always kind of been around. Now we just need to get La Parka, and then we'll have all the
We'll have the big three outside of Ray.
yeah.
But I
I
mean, yeah.
mean,
Okay.
I was just gonna say, I going back to the match. Sorry, I was thinking about. It, I was like, Phoenix was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, has a cool move set, at least from what he showed.
Yes.
That I'm
Yes.
not super familiar with. Not to say I could name the moves, but
Yeah.
he was doing some cool stuff, kind of balancing the top rope and like kind of doing some. I was just like bouncing on it. I'm like, holy wow, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah. He's a lot like I'm sure you'll see it at some point. He's like the luchador equivalent. You know how Sami Zayn fights and how he always looks like he's 2 seconds away from death, but he like powers back up to beat the evil guy. That is a lot of what Phoenix does. He's very good at doing like the Rocky, like, oh, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me, but I'm gonna like keep fighting.
Yeah,
Phoenix does that really well in his matches, which kind of it plays into his gimmick because he's a Phoenix, right? So like his thing is he can get the shit kicked out of him. He kind of like
Fights
bounces
back.
back. So he's very fun to watch in that aspect as well. He's very good as like the physical storytelling of I'm coming like a big comeback. So he's very fun
Yeah.
to watch.
Uh, they like when they build him and Mil Mortes, and it was the man of 1,000 deaths versus the
who's
man
Neil
of
Mortes?
oh from
I
Lucha
don't think.
Underground.
Oh, I thought
Oh,
he was
yeah.
in WWE or something. Okay,
No,
got
what he
you.
should be.
The man of a
Hmm.
thousand deaths versus the man of 1,000 lives. That's a great tagline. But like that's why I was excited because Penta. It's funny too them being brothers and how different they are
Mhm.
wrestling style wise. Phoenix is your much more traditional luchador, like the running the ropes,
Yeah,
which is a great. Like I love watching that shit. That shit gets
yeah.
me. My Latin blood calls to me like an eagle. Um, and Penta's more grounded
Yeah.
in his luchadoring. And they picked Nathan Frazier, who's great. He's cool if you ever get a chance to watch him and Axiom on NXT. Their 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 tag team name's a little dumb. It's Fraxium, so it's Frazier and
Hmm.
Axiom together. Um, but they are probably as close to like the lucha style if you're looking for some Latin spice
In your life.
in your meal today. Yeah. But no, like no Phoenix, he got like super kicked and he like just slumped, and I was like, yes,
It's here.
he sells it like he just got killed. Um, and yeah, he's the firecracker. It's great. It's like I said, it's awesome to like see finally getting like the luchadors getting the love that they deserve. So big props to him and Pentagon for kind of like changing the norm for WWE in the sense
Mhm.
that, right? Because you had like Sin Cara, you had all these like oh, what's it? It's Sin Cara, like Mystico? No.
Oh yeah, Mystico was there.
Mystico. There was another luchador that they had. He was kind of big too.
Well, there was Sin Cara version 1 and version 2.
Yeah. There was
Alberto.
yeah. Alberto was boring though.
Yeah, Alberto. Which just sucks because he had such a good like presentation outside, and then he
Yeah.
got there and
But no, it was fantastic. And so actually Phoenix's finisher is the Muscle Buster.
uh,
So they call it the MMB, and I was like, "What's the MMB?" And then they go,
I know,
"Mexican
right?
Muscle Buster," and I went, "Oh, that makes sense."
I did also like how after the match they kind of like with Penta they gave him the mic and let him talk, and I thought that was cool.
mhm.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm glad that they're able. Like I said, like they don't like their English isn't the best, but they can at least like,
But
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like doing it in Chicago, there is a large Latin population there.
Mhm.
It's like, I think that not to say it was specifically planned like that, but it's like he could have probably spoken a little
yeah,
bit in Spanish, and I would assume the crowd there would for sure be able to understand what he's saying.
And passion bleeds through like no matter what language, right? Like I don't need to know
hmm
exactly what you're saying, but like I can get it. Like I've watched enough wrestling to know like if you're like what like I can get it. So I
Yeah,
don't think they
yeah,
need to be afraid of him speaking in Spanish or whatever. Because like
yeah.
and
I'll be like,
he
oh, I get what you mean. You know what I mean? So
There was a really cool moment that I wish I could have like that they have to like. I hope they snapshot it and they give it to him because there's a moment where they announce his name and he's sitting there and you know when you randomly get like this is gonna we're gonna get into some weird stuff, but like when you get the random urge to cry and you take that big breath to hold it
mhm.
in, but it gets up to the eyes kind of thing, and you can feel the eyes water a little bit. That's like, you can see him do
yeah.
that, and his eyes get really teary, and I was like, that's a great like picture
Hmm.
to like his first win in WWE. That's a great like moment for him, and I was like, like it got me a little bit because like I said, I'm being Mexican and like not getting as much Mexican luchador representation because I love luchadors, and
Yeah.
so it's cool to finally get that and like both of them, and thank God, right? I'm like, please represent us well, represent. Okay.
I do have a question for the two of you.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
Who's got a better intro, Penta or Phoenix?
Panta's always had a better intro.
Yeah, Penta's just kind of cool.
Just had to
Panta's
ask. I liked
Phoenix is cooler.
I
Phoenix's,
like Phoenix a
but it
lot.
was probably just the excitement of him coming out. But like he had
Yeah.
the hood on, he flipped it back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I thought that was cool.
His
It was cool.
because Pentagon's kind of thing, like Phoenix is a classic face, like is your classic luchador face. So he
Yeah.
doesn't really have his whole thing is he does that little like if you saw if he did it, he does
Yeah,
that
he
with his
like
Yeah.
fingers.
above his
Yeah,
head or
he does that
whatever.
over his head. And then his thing is animo, which is like let's go in
Hmm.
Spanish. So they would do is when they would wrestle as the Lucha Bros, Pentagon, he would hit him and they would say like cielo, like miedo, and then he would do something and they go animo, and then they would alternate off of those chants, which is kind of fun. He has it like on his boots sometimes,
Yeah.
he'll say it. Um, but it's like it's weird, the two very different styles.
Hmm.
Phoenix flies, Lucha Penta as you see kind of stays on the
Yeah.
ground.
And I'll always just be a little bit more partial to Penta just because he looks really fucking cool.
It's a good character design.
Yeah, he's just cool.
Yeah, Phoenix I learned to love through his matches.
Yeah.
And Pentagon, you're just like that guy's sick.
Yeah.
Speaking of people that are sick, we had LA Knight versus Tama Tonga for the for the title. It was your solid.
Yeah.
They still have it's Knight and Strowman are still beefing with Solo and uh the other and Tonga, which I think
Mhm.
is kind of cool. But it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it's because my mental state on Fridays, where I'm just kind of like, it's the weekend. But it's hard to like get really invested in SmackDown right now for me personally.
Yeah.
Um, like the next match is Motor City Machine. Before we do that, we had the Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY. But before that, we had the great promo that has shaken the wrestling world for the past couple days, and that is Tiffany versus Charlotte.
Great promo.
They
That
had
was
a
good.
promo off. And how do you guys feel about it?
I thought it was good.
I
I
Go
yeah.
ahead, Zach.
No,
Go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say I don't think it was real. Like I don't think it was like I don't think it was a shoot. I think that was probably a planned thing, and I think they're working it as a shoot in order to build hype for it. That's just my opinion. I think the divorce comments were probably planned. And I think what they're doing because now everyone's more interested in this
Yeah,
than probably at any point during the feud previously, and I feel like this will help propel it further. So if this was planned, it was a genius move. If it wasn't planned, then Tiffany kind of pulled a genius move because now people really care. I don't know if Charlotte might kill her in the ring, but
And I'm sitting here going like, I'm feeling the opposite,
oh
Zach.
really?
I don't feel like that was like and I don't know how much they communicate with promos because you
Yeah,
do want to have a little bit of like, I do want to have an edge. I want to look better than you, but hey, these are the benchmarks we got to hit. But just how it was thrown out by Tiffany and how Charlotte kind of reacted and
yeah,
just the look on Charlotte's face, like it definitely felt, to me, it felt like, okay, we've now crossed the line. And even though she didn't fully say it, but like everybody knew exactly what she was saying. Like without
yeah,
saying like you've been divorced 3 times. It was just like, oh, you're 0-3 outside and you're gonna be alone. Like, oh,
yeah.
what?
Which is a mean thing to say. That's a,
Yeah.
it's not nice.
So, and I
it
think it was also tough, just the whole promo back and forth, because I don't think Charlotte was the crowd was not. They were booing her, and she was having a hard time speaking. So
Yeah,
I think she was kind of maybe that could have been what I was seeing. She was more shaken from that, and
yeah,
just it wasn't maybe kind of what they wanted to do couldn't get done because Charlotte was kind of being inhibited by the crowd
yeah.
booing over her.
Which is very true. And I think and it's true that like no matter if it was real, fake, no matter what, hearing about your divorce and then having everyone kind of go, ooh, that's
oh
still
Yeah.
gonna
that
hurt no
ooh
matter what. That's still
That's the
that
gonna
ooh
worst part.
fucks your shit. Because
yeah,
there's one thing for it to it hurts naturally, but that ooh,
yeah.
you immediately go, well, I have to fight you.
Yeah, like even if you've like given permission for it to be okay, there's got to be just that one moment where you're like, "Fuck, I really wish we hadn't have done that." That actually
Well,
hurt.
and kind of going even more to that, the last promo just didn't feel like Tiffany looked good at all. So this
No.
like I could maybe see where you're saying where they okay, let's give Tiffany a win, but I also just see where it's like Tiffany's like, "No, fuck you. Like you
Yeah.
kind of made me look like an idiot and I'm going to make you look like an
It's like
idiot
an
now."
idiot, and then you.
Cuz it happens. Like you've
Oh yeah.
probably had coworkers who are like, "I don't really like this coworker."
Oh
Like,
yeah.
"Oh, you're
Yeah,
going
I
to look
know.
good in that, meeting." Oh, that's a
Yeah.
bummer. Hmm.
Yeah, the only difference is in wrestling, you can actually really hammer
Put
people
them,
in
put
front of
them to the table,
millions.
and we
And
encourage
that's
it.
where I was like, I thought Charlotte was gonna go after. I mean, she tried to go after Tiffany, but Tiffany just threw that mic, rolled out, and was just holding the belt up. Like, doesn't matter what you have to say because I already
Oh
won.
yeah.
No one will ever believe you because I hurt your feelings now. It's a lot like it's a lot like the buddy thing with Rhea, right? Like no matter what you say back, everybody's like, "Oh, that's kind of you're kind of a bitch." Like
Hmm.
even if you're justified.
Oh yeah. It was like, yeah, but he didn't say anything. And everyone was like, oh, you're a bitch for not saying anything. And then the one time he did say anything, everyone was like, oh, you're a bitch for saying something. And he literally could not win. Like,
Uh,
and once people realized it did bug him, then it was over. It was,
Oh yeah, no, you never show that it bugs you, no matter
yeah.
what. Um, no, I know we've talked about Buddy Matthews for some fucking, but shout out to him. He dated Alexa Bliss. Like his track record is better than most people. So,
Oh yeah.
not many people have that murderer's row of a lineup.
No, I mean, Buddy's batting 1,000 out here.
um, yeah. So here's the more. I guess this is kind of be our little post after reviewing topic. What's the move? Do you stick to the script or is it better to go off it? Because here's my the I feel like the reason I hate that this is such a big deal, right? Because John does this shit to everybody,
Hmm.
right? I made it last week. We talked about John doing this to the Usos about how Jimmy got arrested,
Yeah,
and everybody was like, "Ooh!" And
right?
then it ended. Nobody like was like, "Wow, did they cross the line?"
yeah,
And I'm like, "Okay, like why are we saying that now? Who fucking like
And the only reason I might disagree, again, I assume they're meeting to kind of go, hey, we got to hit these certain points, and then
yeah,
in the middle we just kind of go back and forth. I assume they might, I assume, kind of be like, these are no-nos. Like we don't like, I won't touch these of yours, you don't touch these of mine, and
yeah,
like everything else is game.
yeah. And
I,
and I think too, it's probably sticking out a little bit more because Tiffany is not as well known for her promos, right? Like she's not known for being very great on the mic. She's not known for really coming up with those kind of things. John, you kind of expect it, right? Like you know John's gonna hit it. So I could see being a little bit more backstabbed by Tiffany doing it because you'd be like,
Yeah.
no, no, like
Well,
that's not cool.
and the way, because in the storyline, in real life, Tiffany and Ludwig are dating, but I don't think
Hmm.
it's ever been brought up in the storyline. And for
No.
Charlotte to go there, that's also
I
where I
think it
sit
was
there and I
real.
go,
Yeah, you
I
think it
don't
was
think this was planned. Like
no.
this legit. And granted, you could make the same case for Charlotte and her now ex-husband.
Yeah,
They aren't really a thing, but the way Tiffany said it, she wasn't saying names, so it's like, hey, I'm bringing something up personal, and people are gonna
yeah,
put two and two together, but I'm not ruining the storyline that we have here.
yeah,
I don't know.
I
yeah,
think you would. I think you because you can say out of the ring. Well, you're alone because I'm gonna back David up on this because in theory, right? Because no one has been like fuck yeah, Charlotte's back, right?
yeah,
So outside the ring, the fans don't really fuck with her like that.
yeah,
So you could make the argument that if Charlotte hadn't a shot off that well Ludwig's in my DMs, I think you could have sold it as this is a bit because you
Yeah.
could make the argument, not a good argument, but you can make the argument that we're talking about the fans don't support
Yeah.
her run
Every time
out.
you've come
yeah,
out, people are booing you, like nobody wants you here, kind of thing. I
yeah,
don't know.
You could swing it that way if you wanted to lawyer it a little
yeah,
bit, but yeah, as soon as Charlotte shot off that across the bow, like oh Ludwig's in my DMs, like okay now we this is real.
yeah.
Oh no.
No matter what, I'm much more interested in this match.
Well, and even what's his name that was kind of officiating it, if you watch his facial expressions, he's just like, and I don't know how much they're telling those people like this is
Yeah,
what we're talking about, but just looking at facial reactions, it was kind of one of those like, oh, she said what?
Oh shit. But from what I've heard, is that Charlotte has went off script a lot when she kind of fucked up Tiffany like well, 2 weeks ago.
yeah,
So listen, if you're gonna play dirty, you can't get mad
Yes.
when people go low too. So
yeah.
shout out to Tiffany, those balls. That's ballsy as fuck to do it
I
to
felt like
Charlotte
she had
when
that one in the holster. Like she's like,
Oh,
because if maybe Charlotte went off script a little bit before, something we didn't notice, but it's like maybe she's like, if she goes off script again, I'm just gonna pull this out, shoot my shot, and I'm out.
that's like one of those things, when you're having your imaginary argument in the shower and you come
Yeah.
up with like the perfect thing to say, and then all of a sudden in real life you go, no, I can say it now.
power.
Power.
Yeah. So I think, but yeah, that's the okay. Here's the philosophical debate. So obviously you want to stay on script to kind of keep the story flowing. But if you go off script, it can create for more organic and like
It's more natural.
more
Yeah.
natural moments. And do you think like what do you but you can end up stepping on some toes. But it could make it a better promo. Where do we float in that realm? Is it better to stay on script and kind of keep the game going, or are you like, well no, let's see where this goes?
I
Shit,
kind
it's a
of,
risk.
yeah, I was gonna say, I kind of feel like that's like a wrestler's decision, right? It's like, hey, I some might be like, I don't care, like go
Yeah.
for it. Like my business is already out there, so if you want to talk bad about me for whatever, but others are probably like, don't talk about my family or whatever. So it's
Yeah.
like I assume that those are conversations they would have to have. I I like it being natural, but then it's also like, man, like you're kind of getting into other people's business, and it's like I wouldn't want somebody doing that to me on such a
Yeah.
public stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it kind of depends who you are. It's a big gamble, right? Like if Cena, Orton, Punk goes off the script, right? Nothing's really going to happen to them. But if you're kind of lower on the totem pole like Tiffany is, and you're going up against Charlotte, who has a lot of power, like a lot of internal power, and is a huge star, you're really swinging for the fences because if you actually piss her off and you are shown to be a liability who can't stick to the script, like it's either a home run that drums up a lot of positive
Yeah,
attention for your
Triple H is giving you
match.
a high five on the way in.
Yeah,
Right, like,
yeah, yeah.
oh no, like that was good. That was a good call to go off script. Or you've legitimately made like
Enemies.
your actual coworkers mad at you. And because wrestling is very reciprocal, like you have to make each other look good. And Charlotte has been known to when she gets mad at people like in the ring to actually go pretty stiff or like Carrie Sane got fucked up by Charlotte numerous times because Charlotte got mad at her.
Yeah.
If you watch, there was this time where Kari had a concussion, and Charlotte didn't understand why she wasn't working with her, and you could watch her just like yeet her out of the way because she's like, "No, fuck you," because you're like not working with me. So I don't know if it's because she didn't real because Kari spoke Japanese. It was like a whole like
It was a
uh,
language
yeah, it
barrier.
was a language barrier. So like Asuka was in the match and was like, "No, she has a concussion." So it was like a whole like because Charlotte thought Kari was trying to like
Yeah.
sandbag her.
Yeah.
So it
Homegirl didn't know where she was at,
no,
much
exactly.
less.
No, exactly. So I just don't, it's a very 50-50 shot. I feel like if you're an up and coming name, kind of like Tiffany is, it's really swinging for the fences because it's either going to be that home run or you're just going to piss off a lot of high people.
Well, actually, if you don't want to get hit low, don't go low. But
Yeah.
if you're gonna go
And
off
I would agree with
script,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
because I'm sure they probably were like, hey, like Tiffany's up and coming, like build her up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Charlotte said, well, she has to earn the build up, or she's not like, because like with John, obviously John's
Mhm.
wrestling, but we know that if Cody beats John, Cody becomes Jesus.
Mhm.
And I think John knows that. He's done this long enough to know that he's putting Cody super over,
Yes.
more over than the Roman, more over. And I feel like Charlotte had the chance to kind of do that of like, yeah, well, we can be, I'll be the evil like gatekeeper. You're the
Mhm.
young pretty version of me. And it feels like Charlotte hasn't done that. And maybe that's what they were kind of hoping. And I think, and I have heard reports that Charlotte does kind of like, no, I'm Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say is like even when John dismantles people, probably afterwards he meets him in the back and like, hey, dude, that was really good. Sorry, like
It
maybe
is
some
Yeah.
just big
tips,
dog.
whatever. You guys talk about Roman when he dismantled Roman. It's like, hey man, sorry, like you left it open, and I can't sit here and not.
Yeah.
That's
Pull
my
the trigger
character.
on
Like
it.
I'm supposed to.
And you'd be like,
No.
no, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because almost not going in on Roman like that would have been like a learning thing if you just let him stand there and splutter. It almost looks worse if he just lets him sit there and sputter. Like someone's got to
Like I'm
fill
gonna jump
that.
in and
Yeah.
yeah, make sure it's at least pointed out because people on the internet are gonna point it out.
Hmm.
Like I'm just gonna point it out. Let's rip the band-aid off, get it over with. We'll head in the back and we'll figure out what the next move is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
I think it's
just
a,
yeah, I guess we'll see in WrestleMania because
Yeah.
maybe it is everything's all good, but
if
I
I
don't
was
know.
Tiffany, I would delete all my social media. Nobody know nothing about me.
Oh, Kaiser's in the back just watching that shit. Just going, man.
She's lucky she's hot.
He's like, damn it.
Because yeah. But it also doesn't help that Charlotte hasn't done many favors for herself. Like in the
Uh,
old days, you could kind of be kind of a dick, and like, because everybody was kind of a dick, right? You know,
yeah.
like earn your shit. And
Yeah.
now everybody's like, we're making so much money, dude. What are we doing?
Yeah, let's work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I can see I get it too from Tiffany's point of view, right? You're just getting fucking sandbagged and probably like promo wise and mollywopped and like okay, well fuck it, dude. I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
And then like, like Charlotte went on that talk show to talk about her three divorces.
Yeah.
Well, and that was recorded obviously before Friday, so it's kind of
Like you had to have like you
Yeah.
cannot do that and then not expect at some point somebody will say it somewhere in the universe, right? It'll come
Yes.
up. So like your dad's Ric Flair. He has like five divorces, whatever. Come on.
Yeah.
But you know, somebody's gonna learn. I
like,
don't know who it's gonna be. I don't know how this is gonna play out. I guess that is a scary thing about going off script, right? Nobody knows how this is gonna go now.
No.
So that happened. We had after that some Braun Strowman stuff. And then we also had the two big reveals. One is that Kevin is will not be wrestling at WrestleMania.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's real. Is that real? Do we feel like that's
it
real?
seemed really real.
Yeah.
He also, and people pointed out, he came out in a Finn Balor shirt and a Hart jacket. It was Bret Hart.
Yeah.
So people are
Interesting.
like, yeah, those guys. Because didn't Bret Hart have an injury or something? I know Finn did.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he did. Oh yeah. Brett. Oh yeah. Bret Hart got an awful concussion from Goldberg.
So it just seemed just him talking and like he didn't come out in the normal Kevin fashion. He just looked very dejected and
Yeah.
like, yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. No, I think that's very real, and it makes a lot of sense too. He's been doing a lot of like risky like matches lately, and I feel like it was bound to catch up with him in some way.
And get him.
Hmm.
Um, almost. I don't know with the way Kevin works though. I don't know. I'm not saying if he is, then obviously Godspeed and get better because neck stuff's scary, man. It's
Yeah.
what's neck takes out more wrestlers than any other injury. I think,
Hmm.
as it should. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you know what I mean. You're not getting knees to like it's not like football, right? Where everybody's getting ACLs and that's what ends
no.
you or shoulders. It's usually the neck, which is the worst kind. At least like an ACL. Okay, I can't walk, but I'm alive.
Yeah.
I mean, either
So
way, it is a bummer. It will be interesting to see what they're gonna do with Randy. If I assume he's still gonna wrestle, but
yeah,
maybe they throw that manager in and make that a wrestling match. I don't know.
Could be.
yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how that goes. Um,
Maybe Sammy comes up. I don't know. Maybe they're like Sammy's gonna come fight for Kevin.
maybe.
I have no
Maybe.
idea. I'm just trying to think of like a good name that could come up because Jimmy's out. He's going to be
Jimmy's out.
injured. So it's like, and would he fight for Kevin? That wouldn't really make much sense.
No,
No, you could.
I'm just trying to keep it like within the same like sphere storyline without having to like try and hodgepodge like a quick storyline with Randy.
You might have to hodgepodge it.
I mean, hey, give Drew a shot. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You. Oh, Drew.
Oh no, but
Drew.
is he going to fight Damian Priest though?
it
Oh.
is. It is confirmed by the way. I just googled it.
Oh, okay.
So they had 9 minutes ago. USA Today just released
It
that
was real.
it's neck surgery. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's tough. Damn, dude. Oh.
And that yeah, neck stuff's tough, man. It's spooky.
I
That's
mean,
the
what?
big one.
Triple H came back from neck, right? For a short time
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, but they were like, dude, you gotta stop.
Well, no, yeah, but I'm just more. It has happened in the
Happened.
past. I'm
Yes, it
not
is
saying it's a good
possible.
idea, but it is possible. Because
Yeah,
Big E is one that, right? He's one neck, away from.
yeah.
Yeah.
His is if it's not a fracture, they might be okay.
Yeah.
But if it's like a muscle thing, it's a better prognosis probably than the neck. Because I think for him, Biggie, he broke his cervical
Yeah.
vertebrae, which is
Hmm, yeah,
and that's yeah, you're off by a couple like less than an inch, and the homeboy's not walking
Yeah.
at best. So thoughts out to Kevin, one of my favorite wrestlers, and it's a shame that he's not. So now
Yeah.
pivot's gonna begin, right?
Yeah.
and they're
So
probably gonna get that cooking. Maybe they even just start on Raw and just, hey,
Probably.
you're gonna be doubling for like 2 weeks, Randy, to get some storyline going.
Yeah.
So, because yeah, that's a bummer. That
That
really
sucks.
is.
or Poor general manager from SmackDown. So yeah, so they told Randy, and Randy hit the SmackDown GM with the RKO.
Some workplace violence.
What did I do? What the fuck?
He had to do it to somebody. He couldn't do it to Kevin, so he's gonna
Yeah,
do it to
poor
somebody. And
dude.
that was the other thing. Like if he hit Kevin, it would have been like, okay, this probably work. But when he didn't, and they just walked past each other, it was just like,
Yeah.
oh, that's tough.
Yeah, so yeah, it was confirmed he has to have surgery. Um,
So, what?
we do have a couple more matches for SmackDown. I was looking at my wrong notes.
Whoops.
That's why I whiffed on it a little bit. But so we had DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns because I know we were really wanting to talk about that. Um,
It was I don't know.
It happened.
As Zach would say, it
it
was a bathroom
was
match. Because I thought the Jade Naomi was after that, right? That was a good match.
it was BFAB and Naomi,
Oh, okay. Sorry, but either way,
which is yeah. God bless poor BFAB. I feel like BFAB's just fighting other
she's
people's.
just getting caught in the middle of so many
Yeah,
people.
okay. Oh, was it this one or was it last week when Naomi cut her promo about getting Jade? And she's wearing like the safety, like keep
That was
out.
this week. That was this
Yeah.
week.
That was a good fucking
And that's
promo.
that's why I remember Jade versus Naomi. I
Yeah.
forgot she fought somebody else.
Do that. Do that. That's how you drive. Do that every time. That was good for Naomi. Good for
And
her.
and that's where
Hell
I'm
yeah.
like, I think that'll be a good match. That could be maybe a Sunday match. You never
Yeah.
know.
Never know.
I think if it stays hot the way it has been,
It might. I think, yeah. 'Cause Jade has to like throw Naomi off of a building or something, and then we'll like, okay, well, it's not a Sunday night. If not, I think it'll be a good or like a good early warm the crowd
Yeah.
up kind of thing.
do you think, kind of going back to the tag team belts, are they going to move them before WrestleMania, or do you think they're kind of locked in at this point, and those matches will be done in at WrestleMania?
Tag team's a tough one because it's like the ugly
Because I
cousin
assume it's kind of that like lower
Mm,
belt where it's like we could move it the week before WrestleMania and still have a match for
yeah.
WrestleMania.
Exactly.
I
And I
don't know.
assume IC's kind of similar.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's heavyweight and
Who's
there's a
holding the
mid
men's? Oh, it's Braun. Never mind.
bronze IC.
Because women's, I know she's been defending. I hope they give her a break.
Valkyria just fighting the
She was
horses
Everybody.
away.
she defended it like for 4 weeks in a row. It's like, can
Yeah.
we give this woman a break? God damn.
Dog, and she was doing fucking suplexes off of the ring onto the mat. Like it was crazy onto the ground. Like homegirl was taking bumps. Um yeah, so then we had we ended it with no, I don't think we ended it. Yeah. We we ended the matches with Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman, which is great. But at this point I'm look either fuck or kiss cuz or fight cuz I don't know what we're going to do with this.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
I just wonder if it's who else are they gonna put Braun Strowman against? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's like he is so massive. Like
Braun
who else can
Breaker,
really?
but he's not.
But he's got his own thing. But Braun Breaker, how tall or like big is he? I know he's like big and strong, but like
Hmm.
Breaker's about 6 feet. Braun is a problem.
Yeah,
Just
Braun's
in,
huge.
yeah, like there's
straight
not many
Strowman. Is
human.
that who you're talking?
Yeah,
They're both Braun, so I gotta confirm who you're talking
Braun
about.
AUN. Yeah, his Strowman. Like there's not many human beings you can find that'll match that.
No.
Well, I mean, and that's where he didn't really fight with Damian Priest, but like Drew, like those are bigger guys that Gunther, like I don't know. I
Hmm.
know he's still way bigger than them too, but they're probably the closest that they got. And what's
Hmm.
his name that broke both his ankles? When he comes back, they'll probably start brawling again.
Bro.
And this was for the U.S. title or not the
I can't remember his name, Zach.
I think it was almost. I think it was
Omos.
Omos.
Omos. Oh,
He's
no,
the one
remember
right
when
broke his ankle in
Yeah.
the
No, that's Bronson Reed.
Reed.
Oh.
That's who it was. Yeah, Bronson Reed.
Yeah, that's Bronson. So that's why you don't typhoon 8 feet in the air, dude, or tsunami or whatever his finisher is. Shout out to him though. That was wild. There's a moment because you go, I'm gonna land on my stomach
Yeah.
and hit this. Like, yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, when they get back, when he gets back, I mean, I don't know. There's a decent amount of we'll call them like the Titans in the
Yeah,
ring.
Yeah.
some
That
Godzilla versus King Kong shit.
yeah, because Bronson Reed's fun to watch. It's just he has to wrestle against smaller guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fucking good luck finding somebody like
Strowman,
Sir,
sorry. I said Bronson Reed. I meant Bronson Reed.
sir. What is he? 6'5", 6'5", 2, no, 3 something,
Yeah.
330. No, 6'8".
Jesus.
Like that's what I mean. You don't. Those guys aren't just walking around
Bring the big
No.
show back.
for Big Show.
Yeah, he's 6'8",
Ah, ah,
386 pounds.
ah.
That is a huge man.
That is. That's not even large. That's just. Good God.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like if you put Braun Breaker in there with them, like it's still gonna look
It is, but
yeah.
at
Because
least.
Braun Breaker's big, don't get me wrong, but like there is another level of big.
Hmm.
Oh
And that's
yeah.
where I was like throwing like Damian Priest, Gunther, like those are guys that they are menacingly big.
But Braun Breaker with his spear. If you want to see if Braun Breaker's legit, if he can spear the shit out of Braun Strowman,
Yeah, that is
then that's you get the title as baddest motherfucker in this place. So
honestly.
um but yeah, so we had and then lastly we had that and then in terms of matches, it was good. I mean, who doesn't like big dudes beating the fuck out of each other, right?
It was fun.
And that is
And
for
Fatu is always fun.
yeah.
I enjoy his matches.
Yeah, he's great. I think I want to get his shirt. It's like he has a shirt. This is from post to post, from coast to coast. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Does
That's
it
fun.
have a wolf on it?
Yeah, and I was like, fuck yeah. Um, and then the big question. Speaking of big men, it is time. Roman Reigns had finally arrived at the arena. Thank God. He was.
Finally.
I know. Just took a sweet ass fucking time. Um, and we were posed with the question: what is CM Punk's wish? What is his dream?
I want to be a real boy.
Boy.
What makes him happy, and what is it that he wants? And it was a cool setup. It was Punk saying like Roman. It was interesting because I always thought they had kind of had like a loving relationship, but Roman's like, no, he needs me. He almost thinks that
It
like,
felt like an abusive relationship,
Yeah.
in all
yeah,
honesty. Or
no,
maybe that
he's
was intentional, but
he's nothing without me.
yeah.
He's just a hobo
Tell him no.
fighting outside of a crumble, throwing dice. Um, and everybody, what is the big wish? The big wish is that CM Punk wants Paul to walk out and be in his corner for the match. Roman will
Attaboy
enter.
Zach, I'm calling it.
Roman will enter WrestleMania 41 without Paul Heyman. And there was a really good moment where Roman like looks at Paul and goes, "Say no. You're my wise man. Say no." And God bless Paul, dude. Listen, we just talked about Vince Russo saying Paul is too like the same one note, but Paul gets that this is a performance
Yeah.
because he's like all tucked in, looking at the ground. He's like, "I can't, my wise man, I can't." And Paul agrees, and that's how the episode ends. Is
Seth freaking Rollins is just laughing in the corner. I don't know if you saw that.
oh, you're a bitch, Roman. I hate you. Uh, and then Punk hit Reigns with the GTS. If you if you gotta look at it, you gotta watch the video because somebody posted it that he looks like he went down like a Family Guy character. So he's like in a ball just like that, which is pretty great. Um,
And
and yeah,
Heyman's just screaming. He's like, "My chief,
Chief.
no!"
I definitely I think finally SmackDown was like, no, let's do something here. They brought the
Yeah.
heat, which is great.
They've been
Both were
the
good.
past few weeks. They've done pretty well.
Yeah, it was good shit.
I know historically we've kind of been like a bit of a snooze, and it has its moments. But I mean, Raw has got its moments too, where it's kind of boring as well.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think that was good. Everybody, what did you think of these past two episodes of Raw and SmackDown? Do you think that Tiffany's line stepping was warranted, considering that Charlotte is apparently a habitual line stepper, habitually? Um, where do you predict where is the pivot stance for Kevin and that match? Where do we go from there? Does Randy get one? Do they just kind of tell Randy he's not getting one at all? I know they did it in the show, but I think they kind of did it to like give Randy an excuse to RKO somebody.
Mhm.
Like where do we go now? As Axl Rose once said, where do we go, sweet child of mine? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in our Instagram, on our TikTok, on our Twitter. Let us know where you think this journey will take us. And thank you all for listening. And I hope everybody's ready to hear about Phoenix and Pentagon and Lucha Underground
I
still.
was about to say, and Lucha Underground. I knew it was coming.
Listen, Johnny Mundo. Johnny Mundo
Is
needs to
he
come
also
back.
joining
Oh, he
WWE?
should. Yeah. John Morrison for.
Yeah, he was a tag team with Miz.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, so he did it.
Mil
Uh,
Muerte,
Yeah.
come join
Dog.
WWE. We're waiting.
Honestly, the whole get the whole squad.
Somebody
Bring
call me
your Lady
Cisco.
Death or whatever too. Danny will
Oh,
get real
Katrina,
excited.
dog. We need to bring that back.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everybody, and keep doing more good lucha things. Thank you, David, and thank you, Zach.